Good morning, fellow patriots. How are you doing out there today? Are you fired up to take back your government? Are you prepared to take back the greatness of the American dream? Are you ready to be patriotic, historic, and victorious for the sake of future Americans? That's good. As a matter of fact, that's more than good. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me here today at the Patriot Field of Dreams. And before I get started, let me say a few quick thank yous for being here in the Show Me State. First, I want to say thank you to Ms. Kim Paris for all the work that she has done in organizing this event with the committee and for getting me down here today. Thank you, Kim. I also want to say thank you to the leadership and all the members of MoveOnUp.org. Thank you very much, Chris Arps, Becky Davidson, thanks for having me here. Also want to say thanks to all the grassroots organizations that are here today, including my friend over there, Linda, from Americans for Prosperity. Thank you very much for what you do around the nation. Also want to thank all the wonderful patriots here in the land where they sometimes say Missouri and sometimes say Missouri, but I'm glad to be here in the Show Me State. Thank you for befriending me and taking care of me while I was here. I speak to you today from what the Rally for Common Sense has named and deemed the Arena for Ideas stage. This is a place where we are supposed to, as speakers, push we the people that are gathered here today. We're asked to push you and push ourselves intellectually, instructionally, and interactively from this stage. We are asked as speakers to not only rally fellow conservatives to make a change that we actually can believe in at the ballot box. It's more than just about November. We are asked from this stage today, and we are asking you as fellow patriots from today onward to challenge ourselves and to challenge those around you to commit to a political change that goes back to liberty, goes back to sensible government, that goes back to statesmanship in politics, and goes back to an era of American exceptionalism for 2012 and for many years to come. Thank you. As we celebrate our common commitment to our future as a nation and our impending victories in government as conservatives, I want to share with you just for one moment a personal celebration that I'm having today as well that extols the values of conservatism. It was exactly 10 years ago today that I embraced the essence of this pursuit of happiness that was endeared by our founding fathers and captured in the words of the Declaration of Independence, that literary spark that gave rise to the brightest and boldest nation that has ever illuminated the skies of history. See, against what bureaucrats said, against what statistics predicted, against what my family background provided, and against what socioeconomic statuses afforded, conservative principles overcame progressivism and melancholy. An unmarried African-American father raising two young children under his own roof, post-divorce and post-9/11, fighting as his own attorney against the wiles of the court systems, fighting against the social and bureaucratic struggles that usually asphyxiate black children's hopes and dreams with broken homes and broken promises. That American walked his two children, ages 8 and 2, across his college stage and picked up his college degree after nearly a decade and a half of trying to get a degree. After dropping out of college, after taking care of sick parents, after working as a deli clerk and as a janitor to support my family, all while chasing the dream of a better life because of the opportunities provided by the American dream. Now that was possible for my family and for my children and my grandchildren because conservative principles and the ability to pursue happiness and the American dream are still possible here in this great nation due to our time-tested values that we hold dear as conservatives. As long as conservatives such as us are gathered here today to protect the true essence of the American dream and the foundation of that dream, which is our bold, beautiful federal Constitution, these stories will continue today and every day around the country. And with these stories come the promise of the comeback of the American people. With these stories come the solutions we need for a stronger America, instead of more promises coming from 4 more years from a nope and cringe president or a budgetless do-little Senate. Today we are asked to do more than just bolster our patriotism through the honor of gathering here at this noble rally. We are asked to be intellectual with our debates as we convince our wayward countrymen that we must love this nation, and therefore we must change the course from this destructive path that we are on right now. We are asked to be instructional with our rhetoric so that we not only fire up this crowd here today, we must also build a fire that warms up younger generations today and future generations of Americans in the days ahead. To succeed, our fiery passion must warm up future generations of Americans to conservative values, conservative leadership, and patriotic service in the halls of government. We are asked to be interactive with our words, with our actions, with our love for you as children of God, and with our love for each other as fellow Americans. We must do these things if the fire that we are building today is to become the zeal necessary to blaze a new path of greatness for the melting pot of America in the 21st century. We know that our diverse, talented, and expansive nation cannot triumph past these financial crises that we are having if we continue to count on big government to provide its version of what leadership is and what its vision for success is, which we've already seen for decades. Big government has never been able to provide these things effectively. Let me ask you a few questions. Has big government fixed our struggling educational systems throughout the nation that our children are impacted by today? Has big government spending capped the heights of unemployment nationally at 8%, as we were told with this monstrosity of a stimulus package 3 years ago? We need smaller government and bigger people in America to elevate American exceptionalism once again. We need a historical sense of the appropriate roles of government, family, education, economic liberty, and multilateral prosperity in these United States today. We need to push away politicians that seek to be popular for all of the wrong reasons and promote Americans that choose to be historic by serving us all for all the right reasons. Therefore, the purpose of my talk with you today is not just to fire you up with talking points or television-ready sound bites. See, all of the speakers up here can remind you of just who you are. It's simple. You all are the we the people that America is begging to return to leadership in this nation of crisis today. All of us can remind you of the people that need you to be historic and need you to be humble servant leaders in whatever way you can, starting today. All of you, all of us, we are the true last great hope for the huddled masses yearning to breathe free, away from the oppression of status quo civics and away from the hopelessness of unresponsive and bloated government. All of us can articulate, whether it's with a preacher's passion or a politician's eloquence, the power of your presence here today at the Patriot Field of Dreams. You all are the humble points of light that illuminate this field of dreams with a resonance of your potential. You have awakened a sleeping people and invigorated an apathetic nation to remember who we are, what we do as Americans, and why we must go forth from here as patriots. We are the United States of America. We lead as the greatest source of economic, military, and altruistic good that the world has ever seen. And we must go forth as patriots to gain political ground, win political conversations, and win back apathetic hearts and minds so that we can win back our future and take back America. That's why I would fail you if I were on this stage today and I did not challenge you for the sake of America's future, not just sit here and speak to you about the proud accomplishments of our conservative past. See, this rally for common sense is a rally on behalf of an uncommon people. And because this rally is on behalf of the most unique nation in the history of man, we cannot settle for merely convincing our fellow conservatives that our cause is just. We must also be commissioned to reclaim the areas that we have lost to progressive, overbearing, and expensive government and its tentacles of bureaucracy over the past several decades. Patriots, we can rally if we just want to win a skirmish, but we must sacrifice in order to win back the future and take back America. We are challenged with this question: what are we truly willing to sacrifice so liberty and American exceptionalism can endure in its purest sense in the 21st century? On May 19th, which is Armed Forces Day here in America, what are we willing to truly sacrifice and fight for our future? We are commissioned to act courageously as we ask this question: where must we go in order to truly impact change, truly reduce the size of government, sincerely revitalize American innovation, and proudly extol the American dream? We cannot take back America from the influence of government corruption and cronyism if we refuse to take on Chicago-style politics, whether it's found in the White House in Washington, the State House in Jefferson City, or the city halls found throughout the land of Lincoln, where I'm from, or the hometowns of all of us here in the US of A. We cannot reduce spending on outdated models of education, job creation, community activism, and public service while increasing our harvest from all four of those fields if we allow the outdated model in our own political camp to continue. We must reject the notion immediately that suggests that conservative principles only belong to certain zip codes, or that the American dream only belongs within certain borders within our land. I tell you this from this arena of ideas stage. The stage is set for you today, my fellow Americans and my conservative compatriots. The stage is set for you to apply your intellect to American political discourse in everyday life. The stage is set for you to inform and to illustrate to our people, the American people, that the conservative way is still the best way to access the American way of life. It always has been, regardless of whether you were a poor black grandchild of former slaves that ended up growing up to be a doctor, or if you were a European immigrant that went from manual labor to millionaire status within one generation. I implore you on this gorgeous, gorgeous May Day, the time is now for you to instruct others of the tenets of conservatism, the promise of our philosophy, the goodness of the founding principles of this nation, and the greatness that America can still claim in the 21st century if only we return to the best of our past to make a better future. Rallying the conservative troops is no longer enough. It is time for us to love these United States enough to reclaim more Americans from the disjointed legacy of big, expensive, wasteful, and unresponsive government that dictates too many lives today and influences too many young voters for tomorrow. I ask you as a brother in Christ and as a fellow American, understand and embrace the notion that we must be interactive with our patriotism, not just involved in the fight. A nation like ours is worth fighting for indeed. It absolutely is. But it is even more than that. It is a society that through the interactive toils of we the people, headlined in the U.S. Constitution, builds a society that fosters freedom. It provides a freedom that comes when we instruct and remind both the oldest conservative and the neophyte liberal that in this nation, we are founded, we believe in, and we extol liberty, and we have freedom because we protect liberty at all costs. It elicits an honor that comes when our love for this nation is intellectualized, empowering us, and even commissioning us to evangelize the Constitution and the promise of America for the apathetic and the broken all around us, not just preach to the choir here today. In order to succeed in 2012 and beyond. I ask you, I encourage you, and I challenge us all to not only recite the good news of our values to the conservative church gathered here today, but go take the gospel of American exceptionalism to those that need it the most and to those that need us the most. It is time to reclaim our American dream, but to do so, we must take back America by taking our message to America. It is time to meet those that lost hope for America in the streets. It is time for our patriotism to expand into courageous activism. It is time for us to meet our future where it is and take it to where we need them to go so that we can rise to where America needs to be once again. Be that shining city on a hill for the world to worship, to idolize, and to follow once again. It is time to embrace the moment here in this Patriot Field of Dreams, our fellow Americans. But in holding this moment dear, grasp the potential of what this nation will be because of your actions here today, in 2012, and beyond. Embrace the reformation for better education for our kids through more efficient programs such as school voucher programs. Embrace the newfound innovation of American workers through new tax codes that support entrepreneurs and opportunities that utilize the resurgence of American intellect. Embrace the Reagan-Romney recovery coming soon through your efforts. A diversity of jobs where blue-collar workers can buy homes with honor and college-educated workers can build legacy within the American dream. Embrace your obligation to reclaim the ground that we have lost over the past several decades in our streets, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, and in our communities. Embrace the new future. Embrace your destiny as the reason why America resurges as the global force in the world in the 21st century. Embrace American conservatism. Embrace the greatness that is within you. Embrace the American dream and extol it in your everyday lives. Embrace conservatism and seize the day starting today. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you. God bless this Patriot Field of Dreams and God bless the United States of America. Thank you, folks.